roll the dice, hope for high. Turns in the dungeon, reaching sky.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm the GM Philosopher, and today I want to talk about making a case for total positivity in D&D. Now, I have made videos about how kindness and respect and positivity are good for the game in the past. I've talked to great length about this, and I consider myself a very positive gamer. I like to have fun. I don't really like to get negative on people. I don't really like to spread negativity when I game. As far as I'm concerned, there's enough negativity in this world, and I think that we as gamers and the games we play are all better off when we choose to leave negativity at the door when we embark on our games, whether it be D&D or any other TTRPG. And let me just dive in and get right to it. Here's what I'm thinking. When we play games, any games really, what's the purpose? Real probably enjoyment. There's a certain type of game, maybe when you get into like Olympic sports and professional games where you have a monetary and financial incentive to win because your career might go downhill if you do not perform at a top level. But the vast majority of us who play TTRPGs are not in this place when it comes to games. We're here for fun. We're here to enjoy ourselves. We're here to engage in a social contract where we create intellectual art with other people. We imagine adventures and we work together to kind of role play and tell narrative stories about characters. And these things are very fun. It's very cathartic. It's a great way to have a fun weekend, great time with friends, great community. You can eat snacks, drink your energy drinks, and spend some time together. And you can engage in some of the fantasy stuff you love, like dragons, dungeons, magic, etc. It provides an element of escapism, but it also gives us something to look forward to, and it gives us a way to work through different thoughts, ideas, creations, etc. that we may have that just aren't really possible to work through in the real world. As much as I would like to maybe in the real world explore what it means to be a wizard who's too powerful to be included with mortals, but also not powerful enough to get the attention of the gods, so the mortals turn their backs on him and the gods turn their back on him. I mean, I'm I'm like a talented guy, but I don't know what that's like. But maybe I have an idea for that character. So I think, well, that would be a fun thing to explore and to work out. So maybe I play TTRPGs to help me kind of do that. And that's a fun thing. We kind of insert ourselves into a narrative and we get to role play that narrative. It's sort of halfway theater, halfway writing, halfway engaging with other people. It's sort of like a very collaborative art project. And the art is intellectual. And it's just really great fun. Rolling dice, calculating damage, casting spells, and finding new ways to build characters and exploring new worlds and investigating dungeons. It's just a great time. By the way, do you struggle to come up with plot arcs on the fly? If so, I have the perfect tool for you. It is called My Ultimate Plot Randomizer. It is a free ebook. When you join my email list, you can download this for free. You'll get the link in your first email. It contains 4 D100 tables that will let you roll random plot arcs whenever you need them. Roll the hook, the conflict, and the conclusion, and even add wild and wacky stuff all right there. Download this, print it out, add it to your tool collection, and you will never go without another plot arc again. I give this away for free to help you create awesome plot arcs just like I do. I use this in almost every single session, and you are not going to want to miss out on this, so make sure you grab this. However, as positive and as good as all that might sound, there is a catch, there's a conflict, there is a challenge, there's an obstacle, okay? Negativity, okay? There are a lot of negative people in the TTRPG space. Nowhere near as many as there are positive people. But I'm telling you what, as a YouTuber in the TTRPG space, and more specifically a D&D YouTuber, I encounter my fair share of negativity every single day. And let me tell you something. There are some people who leave me amazing comments. 99% of all the comments I get on my channel are super positive and fun. The comments are one of the fun parts of being a YouTuber, of creating stuff for this community. But boy, let me tell you, there are some people who give criticism. There are people who just talk down. There are people who say rude things. There's quite a bit of negativity, and negativity sometimes even goes on in the comments without me even being involved. Commenters being rude to other commenters, but a lot of the times the rude comments are aimed at me, which is fine. As a YouTuber, you have to grow a certain level of thick skin, and this doesn't bother me. With that being said, I do see this and I think to myself, I recognize this. I've gamed with these types of people before, negative people who, when they come into a gaming space, say negative things, right? So if I'm going to walk into a D&D game with like 6 to 8 other people that I don't know, and I walk in and I have anything to say in the 4 hours that I'm there, aside from positive things, what does this say about me? Why is there even room to say negative things to these people I'm gaming with when this is just an optional, fun, extracurricular part of my life? I can understand to a point like being stressed out about your job, being negative about your job, feeling maybe stuck at a job or something, stressed out about. There's a lot of things in life to be stressed out about. I'm not knocking it, okay? But what would possess someone to be so negative about a game like D&D that they would leave negative comments on YouTube, have negative experiences with their other gamer friends, maybe even be rude to other gamers? I have gamed with people in the past who were both positive and negative. The vast majority of people I've gamed with have been super positive, but let me tell you what, I have gamed with a few real negative people in my days, and I pretty much stopped hanging out with them because it's like, why would I want to engage in my fun hobby with negative people? And that's a fair question, I think. I think it's a question that a lot of us who want to be positive about the game ask ourselves. I'll either further expound on this to admit that sometimes in my past, I have been a negative person. I am not proud to say that I have left rude comments on YouTube videos and social media posts in the past. I am not proud to say that I have been rude to other gamers in gaming type situations in my past. I will also say that when I look back on those times in my life, I realize I was not living up to my full potential. I was not being the kind of person that I ultimately wanted to be. I knew it then and I know it now. Nowadays, I really want to be positive about the things in my life that I can be positive about. And that's most of it. Not to say that there are not parts of all of our lives where we are tempted and perhaps a bit justified in feeling stressed out or being a little bit negative, or maybe having some criticisms about things, especially when other people maybe are doing things that are going to affect us. And then when we don't speak up, maybe we make ourselves sort of a doormat. This is not a good situation at all, but there's a large chasm between sticking up for yourself and not letting people walk over you and being rude at a D&D gaming table or in the comments section of a YouTube video. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not making this video to try to get down on anyone who leaves me comments. I love comments. In fact, leave me a comment and let me know if you think that YouTube tends to be relatively positive and kind, or if you think it sometimes tends to verge on a bit negative when it comes to the comment department. I would like to hear your feedback on that. I would love to hear what you think. Please let me know. With that being said, I can identify, at least in part, there's a part of my soul that can identify with people who leave criticizing comments on my channels. Despite popular known legend, I'm not a perfect person, right? My videos are not always perfect. My games that I run are not always perfect. I'm mostly perfect, right? But I'm not 100% perfect 100% of the time. It's more like 70% perfect 65% of the time, maybe. With that being said, I want to talk about the reason why. Really, why am I making this video? GM Philosopher, what's your point here? Why are you even making this video? Well, I'm going to tell you why. There is something to be said for taking this hobby very seriously. And sometimes I think that is why people get a little angry. Sometimes I think that's why people leave angry comments, or they criticize, or they say things that sound really rude, because they are so, not all the time, but sometimes it's because they're so serious about the hobby, so serious about the game, so serious about the craft, that anyone who they think is doing it at a subpar level maybe offends them personally. I really think that there's something to this. I can kind of identify with this because there was a time in my life when I used to feel this way about a certain number of topics that I was very passionate about, and dare I say that I knew more about than the average person. I'm also here to tell you through life experience that this is not the true way. I will never believe that this is the true way. It is great to try to be good at something, but to bring other people down instead of lifting them up is always the wrong choice whenever you're dealing with any kind of relatively peaceful life situation. So I would even say that this applies to a job. I would say this applies to family. I would say that this applies to friends, and definitely to the games we play for fun and entertainment. So here it is. Here's the reason why I'm making this video to begin with. The reason I'm making this video is because I have lately, I would say like in the past 4 to 5, 6 days, noticed a real pretty interestingly significant increase in negative comments on my channel. And this leads me to believe that there is perhaps some negative energy flying around out there in the TTRPG space. I don't know why. I don't know why this is happening. It's probably at least partly related to the fact that my channel is growing, which is awesome, and I'm being exposed to more eyes. And people are more likely to leave a negative comment than a positive comment. With that being said, here's my fear. I don't want people living in a negative mental space for their own good. I want people to have a happy life. I want people to have a happy time playing games. I want people to laugh and have fun and feel good about things. I want them to have good friendships. I want them to have good community. And so I care about people just as a general rule, right? I'm not out here like trying to save everyone, being, Captain Save Everyone. I am, though, trying to say that I believe that this is the right thing, to care about people as individuals for the most part, in a general sort of sense, as a baseline standard. I would also say that I worry about people taking those kinds of negative mentalities into games with people who want to play a positive game. Imagine this. Imagine someone who really cares about the game and they're very serious about it, but they're really kind of negative about it in the sense that when other people don't do it up to their standards, they get grumpy about it. Maybe their tone gets negative. Maybe they say things that are very criticizing, or maybe they even get downright rude to people, right? To them, maybe they feel justified in it because they think, well, I love this hobby and I want to do what it's going to take to make people behave right when they perform it. I don't want to see people just, not caring, just doing it wrong. Okay. But imagine this person who has a bunch of experience and knowledge about the game walking into a situation where there are some new gamers who are just getting started, just dipping their toes in the water of TTRPGs. And these people are potentially embarking on a lifelong hobby that could bring them, so many countless hours of enjoyment and fun that could help their life. Like, seriously, D&D and TTRPGs can help your life. They can give you something fun to look forward to. They can be an affordable way to have fun with your friends. It can be one of the funnest ways to create amazing stories and to come as close as possible to living those stories. And then imagine this person with all this experience who's really negative about the game, actually. Maybe they don't think they are, but who is objectively negative, walks into the situation and starts playing with these new players, and then they just are negative and talk down to them and criticize them because they're not doing it like the person with the experience thinks they should be. Imagine how this is going to make those people feel. Is it going to make them feel good? No way. This is not going to make them feel good. This is probably going to drive them away from the hobby. It's probably going to make them think, wow, why would I want to do this? I don't want to sit here and listen to this negativity, right? This is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing that I get afraid of. And I don't like the fact that I can relate to this. But there was a time in my life when I used to be that negative person to a point. I was never like maybe so negative to people that I ruined the game for them. And I was always pretty kind to new players. The times when I would get frustrated was when other gamers who I kind of thought should be serious about the game didn't take it as seriously as I thought they should, and blah, blah, blah. Still not right. And I regret it. And I've changed my ways. And now I always share a game with positivity and be very open and be more patient maybe than I need to be, and all these things in an effort to make the game what it should be, which is a fun time with your friends where you play games and you do cool stuff. So at the end of the day, here is my premise. Here's my sell. Here's what I would like to sell you today. I'd like to sell you on the idea that we should be super positive about gaming, and that we should allow for complete positivity whenever it comes to TTRPGs. I mean, completely. I'm saying, like, there's virtually never a situation where we should let negativity dip into it. I believe that this is true. I believe that, don't get me wrong, just like with anything in life, there are tough situations, sometimes hard situations, stressful situations that come up with games. But as I stand here before you today, or rather sit here before you today, or rather sit before my camera recording a video that you're going to watch later today, I would like to make a case for total positivity for D&D, to say, hey, let's all agree that this is not an area of life to take our negativity into. Let's all agree this is an area of life where we be kind to people and lift them up and we have fun. And you know what? If someone bothers you in a game, if you don't enjoy gaming with someone, maybe they're not serious enough for you or something, that's okay. You can play in a different game, right? That would be better than to put negativity in. Just remove yourself from the situation that doesn't feel good to you. This is so much better. So there you go. There's my case for total positivity in D&D. Hey, thank you so much for coming back and watching another one of my videos. I'm here every single day creating videos about the best game in the world, D&D. So I will see you awesome people on the next one.